Hey guys, it's Handshake Handyman. Today I'm going to do a run through on how to clean this Bunn coffee maker here. It's got a little bit of calcium buildup in it. It doesn't make coffee as quick as it used to. I've already took some of it apart, but I'll kind of give you the rundown here. So there are two screws that you take out, one here and one here, and you lift this up and pull this back, and that comes off. Once that's done, you have this little white flapper that actually, when you close the lid on this, starts allowing the water to run into the heater part. So you go ahead and take that off. And what happens to these things is, using tap water that's got calcium and stuff in it, hard water, you'll get a lot of calcium build up in here, along with down in where the actual heating element's at, and that'll start clogging things up. You can see I've done wiped this out a little bit, but there was quite a bit in there. And you have this little piece that screws off. And that's actually up under here. You'll screw that off, and be careful if you run some water or vinegar through it, because there'll be some hot water. And this has actually got little holes, and the flakes of calcium will actually get in there and stop that up. Sometimes you can take this off and clean it, and that'll fix your problem for a little while. But the ultimate thing you need to do is take this thing apart, give it a good scrub down, run some vinegar through it. Just regular white distilled vinegar is what I use. Don't just pour it in the top. You'll want to pour it in your coffee pot, because if you put more than enough, then your coffee pot will run over. So fill this up with vinegar and then pour this in. So it's already run through, and you can kind of see that it's kind of nasty. So I'm gonna let this set for a minute, and then we'll be right back, and I'll show you how to run another pot through. Okay, now that I've let that soak for about 10 minutes, what I did was I strained out through a coffee filter the vinegar. What I wanted to do was catch the flakes that had accumulated in the bottom. There's no reason why you can't reuse the vinegar at least once or twice. So now I'm going to attempt to pour this in here. As you can see, it's actually flowing a lot better than it was before. Before it was just doing a bunch of bubbling here. It was going in real slow. Now we've got a good flow. I'm actually running this without this piece on there, so any flakes can just run right into the pot. So we'll let that run through. And you can see there's some flakes running in. And one thing with these buns is there is a tank in here that it keeps the water heated. So when you pour cold water in, you get immediately hot coffee. So whenever you pour in a pot of vinegar, it dilutes it. So you'll get like a 50-50 mix of vinegar water. If you want stronger water, where I reused this, you could go ahead and pour this out and put another pot of vinegar in there, and you'll get a higher solution of vinegar, and which would work even better. So we may do that. So I'll be right back here in just a second. Okay, so I went ahead and poured out that old dirty water that I had run through twice. Put this stopper back in for just a second. That way when you pour it out of the pot, it doesn't run through automatically. Pour this in here. And put your pot back under. Then you can remove this. Let me show you what that actually does. So it plugs the hole where your water runs in. When you take this out, and it starts flowing. There's a piece of calcium there. So the reason you want to use vinegar is because it has a little bit of acidity to it, and that acid actually breaks down the calcium buildup on the heater element and everything. So that pot's run through. We're gonna let that set for a little while and I'll be back in a second. All right, so while I was waiting on this to soak some more, I went ahead and scrubbed everything clean. And we're going to reassemble this before the next step. So you want to put everything back together, because once we get it back together, we're going to run about 10 pots of clean water through, and that flushes all your vinegar and stuff out. And then we should be good to go. So we'll get this put together. 2 screws in the front, that's it. And we're going to dump vinegar out. Get us a pot of clean water. We'll go ahead and run that through. And that'll be one of about 10 pots we're going to run through. We'll get all that flushed out, and then we can clean all this up down here. We'll clean this up. It's pretty nasty. So we'll go ahead and put our water in. This will be pot 1 of clean water. For our first flush. If your coffee pot's not running that fast, then it's clogged up. This coffee pot got to where it was taking 20 minutes to make a pot of coffee, and it should only take less than 5 minutes. So I will show you how dirty this water is when in clean. Like I said, there was vinegar sitting in here, and I do this with it plugged in so that the heater and stuff keeps the vinegar hot. Seems to work better. So this was our first flush. That's 1 of 10. I'll be back. All right, so now I've got the whole thing clean. I've cleaned this, everything's back together. Pot number 10, clean, clear water. Pour this in. I'll show you how clear the water is that comes out. Like I said, at least 10 pots of water after the vinegar, and That should flush all your vinegar out. If your water still smells like vinegar, you can run an additional couple pots through there until you don't smell vinegar anymore, but usually about 10 pots of clear water, clean water, after the vinegar, and you should be good to go. So, like I said at the start of the video, the pot had got to where it was taking, 30 minutes to make a pot of coffee, and it was really slow, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, barely trickling. And now you can put a pot in, and in less than 2 minutes, it runs it all out. So I would call that a win. It's an easy way to get your Bunn back up working like it should. White distilled vinegar, it's all you need. Should be getting pretty close to the end. There you go. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Handshake Handyman.